A strong sense of renewal was in the air at the Fiorano Christmas lunch last week. The new faces roaming the room immediately catch the eye, particularly Vice Team Principal Jerome D'Ambrosio and Technical Director Loic Serra, not to mention Diego Ioverno, promoted to Sporting Director in 2023. Ferrari Team Principal Frederic Vasseur is shaping his team, continuing a process that began 2 years ago and is far from complete. Among the newcomers, Jerome D'Ambrosio stands out for his naturalness, charisma, eloquence, and fluency in impeccable Italian. Beyond the allure of the prancing horse, the opportunity for him and his wife to move to Italy was a major factor in his arrival at Ferrari. The Belgian has no shortage of words, immediately sharing a couple of anecdotes that illustrate how he has already experienced the warmth and special treatment that the people of Emilia reserve for the champions of Maranello. The Vice Team Principal has already taken up an office opposite Frederic Vasseur's, at least for when he is at headquarters, as in the 2025 Formula One Championship, he will follow between 18 and 20 races on site. In his own words, the establishment of the vice position reflects a proactive rather than reactive approach. The Belgian will not fill in during the team principal's absences, but will primarily handle delegated tasks, including marketing, communication, finance, and hiring. The division of roles confirms what Jerome D'Ambrosio has stated and what others have noted before him. Over 2 years, Frederic Vasseur has distinguished himself for his ability to delegate, present, and extremely approachable, but far from being a centralizing or overly controlling figure. These qualities have made him increasingly appreciated in Maranello. Another key figure of the day is Loic Serra, a product of the Mercedes school and recently appointed technical director. Calm and courteous in demeanor, the Frenchman officially took office on October 1st. The new director has already worked on the 2025 Ferrari single-seater, a project that was largely set up before his arrival. However, his influence will be most evident on the 2026 car, which is expected to enter the wind tunnel shortly. There is great curiosity to see in action a figure whose expertise lies more in vehicle dynamics than aerodynamics. During lunch conversations, Loic Serra remains diplomatic, assuring that he will not impose his approach but will integrate gradually into the current structure. His specialization will lead him to lay the conceptual foundations for future Ferrari cars, working closely with other technical leaders to find the best solutions to achieve set goals. In particular, Loic Serra will collaborate closely with Diego Tondi, the new head of aerodynamics since August. Together, they will seek that delicate balance between aerodynamics, balance, and drivability that has been missing in recent Ferraris, building on the first signs of a turnaround observed in 2024. Another figure with whom Loic Serra will interact is the head of the engine division, Enrico Gualtieri, who is also present at the Christmas lunch. The Italian engineer's focus is entirely on the 2026 Formula One project, aiming to interpret a prescriptive regulation that still leaves room for creativity, both in the internal combustion engine and the electrical components. According to the Italian engineer, the challenge will not only lie in maximum power. The 350 kilowatt hybrid will require a larger battery and a cooling system capable of dissipating 9 times the current heat, making the installation of the power unit in the car significantly challenging. Hence, the importance of interaction with other technical departments. Crucial will be the harmony established among Diego Tondi, Loic Serra, and Enrico Gualtieri, tasked with determining the best concept for the Ferrari under the new regulations. The key factor will be the ability to extend the electric motor's power delivery on the straight for as long as possible before switching to recharge mode. However, this will depend on consumption, drag, and the level of aerodynamic load, characteristics that the three will jointly define for the 2026 Ferrari car, the first project to be fully developed under the new technical direction. The 2024 Christmas lunch reflects a Ferrari that, according to Frederic Vasseur's metaphor, is opening its doors. The aim is to absorb culture and expertise from competitors, overcoming the isolation that the prancing horse currently faces. The team principal noted that in the United Kingdom, there are 7 teams within a 50-kilometer radius, with McLaren being slightly farther out. He explained that if someone wanted to move from Red Bull to Mercedes, they could keep their children in the same school and avoid changing houses. He also pointed out that, excluding gardening leave, it is possible to switch teams almost immediately, a flexibility that is not available to Ferrari. 2 years after his arrival in Maranello, Frederic Vasseur can finally rely on the personnel he has chosen. It took time, and during the meal the Frenchman reflected on the inertia of change in Formula One. His first contacts with Loic Serra date back to early 2023, and between contract timelines and gardening leave, the team principal wondered if he would live to see the hires he initiated come to fruition. Setting up a long-term project requires above all the trust of the management, indispensable for implementing actions that were impossible in the past due to the too many leadership changes. The 2025 Ferrari single-seater is finally Fred Vasseur's first true creation, but it remains incomplete. The team principal keeps emphasizing that building a team is an endless process, even though the current prancing horse embodies his vision more than ever before. In a Formula One that is increasingly English-speaking, with England having become the center of the top class, it's fitting to use the English word hype to describe the expectation for Ferrari in 2025. Hype is the feeling that the Ferrari fan base is experiencing in anticipation of the upcoming season. The recent statements by Frederic Vasseur, made during the usual Christmas lunch with the press, leave no room for doubt or interpretation. The Italian side aims for victory in the 2025 Formula One campaign. There is no more concise phrase than this to highlight Ferrari's goal for the coming year. The last season left us with a great overall performance from the SF24, which, without the technical and performance lapses shown during the summer races, could have really eliminated the zero in the constructors' titles column that has followed Maranello for far too many years. The goal of victory will pass through a true revolution of the car, which, as reported by Fred Vasseur, will be 99% different from the previous one. A choice that might seem counter-trend to what was seen on track after the summer break, when the last Ferrari car fought for the title with McLaren until the final race. In all likelihood, in embracing this absolute break from the recent past, the SF24 reached its maximum evolution in a regulatory cycle that will end in 2025, and therefore Maranello is looking for alternative and different ways to aim for victory. There's anticipation to see the new technical director Loic Serra, already an integral part of the 2025 project, at work. Serra, like Jerome D'Ambrosio, the new right-hand man of the team principal, form two of the pillars on which Ferrari under Frederic Vasseur is founded. And all this while waiting for the main event, Lewis Hamilton. The debut in red is getting closer, at least the unofficial one that will take place at Fiorano in the coming weeks, with Hamilton wearing the Maranello team's red suit behind the wheel of a past Ferrari. Just a few years ago, this scenario seemed unlikely, if not impossible. Yet Sir Lewis has chosen to start again from Maranello to chase an 8th world championship. By choosing this sporting partnership, Ferrari has taken on a great responsibility to the most successful driver in Formula One history, in a true historic iconic union aimed at reviving the glory days that Maranello hasn't celebrated since 2007. The last two world champions to join Ferrari with high expectations, Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel, did not have the opportunity to rely on a competitive car for the long term, but only intermittently. Who knows if Lewis Hamilton will benefit from this honor? But this honor can only be granted by Ferrari, in what Ferrari fans dream of as a top-level battle between the two drivers, Lewis and Charles, in a red derby with a world championship flavor. As always, the final word will be issued by the court of last resort of motorsport, the track. The days are passing and 2025 is approaching, and with it, the hype grows.